Hello, today we're deploying a read-only Contactzilla address book to iPhones using IBM MaaS360. MaaS360 is a well-established enterprise MDM platform known for top-notch security and large-scale deployments. And the basic flow here is very straightforward. First, we generate a mobile config file in Contactzilla. Second, we create an iOS policy in MaaS360 and copy the CardDAV details from that file into the policy. Third, we assign the policy to a device group and the contacts deploy automatically. I'm going to assume you already have an IBM MaaS360 portal set up and that you have some iPhones enrolled in a device group. And I'm logged into MaaS here, and this is my test group, iOS Skyline Field Devices. First of all though, let's head over to the Contactzilla dashboard. I've opened up the address book I want to deploy, and I've clicked on Device Connections. And the first thing I'm going to do is select iOS from the drop-down here for connection type. The next step is to assign the connection to a team member. So in Contactzilla, you can assign a connection directly to any team member, and that's useful if you just want to get contacts onto that person's phone individually. They can scan a QR code and set it up themselves very easily. But for MDM rollouts, we use a special kind of user called an MDM user, which is a device-only account. So let's create one now. I'll head over to Team Members and add an MDM user, device-only access. The email address here is arbitrary, so you can put anything in there. Hit Add, and that's done. You'll see that MDM user added here under Team Members. Let's head back over to Device Connections, and I'm going to select that new MDM user we just created. Label sync, I'm just going to leave as the default setting. And now decide on the access level for the end users. So for most managed rollouts, full read-only is a popular choice because it prevents any accidental changes to your master contact list. You can, of course, do a full read-write rollout, giving the end users the ability to edit contacts. And if you do select that, we have a handy feature just here to give them that editing capability, but still prevent them from deleting any contacts. And I do want to touch on selective read-only because it's a very useful feature. You don't have to send the entire address book to every device. Instead, you can choose one or more labels, and only the contacts with those labels are deployed to the devices. So if I just add a couple here and hit create, you can see my selective read-only rollout is here ready to go. But I'm going to go with a read-only. And finally, you want to set the number of device connections to match your rollout, and then click create. And under the newly created device connection here, if I click setup, I can download the mobile config file, which has everything we need to set up our policy in MaaS360. So I'll switch over to MaaS now to create that policy. And from the top here, we will go to Security, and then Policies, and then Add Policy. Give the policy a name. I'm calling mine iOS Contactzilla Project Cascade Tower to reference the address book name. And for the type, select iOS MDM. Start from, I'm going to choose my existing policies, and then I'm going to base this on the default iOS MDM policy so that we inherit the standard iOS configuration and then simply add our CardDAV account to it. So click Continue. Now inside the policy editor, scroll down on the left-hand side and open up Advanced Settings and select CardDAV. Click Edit, and now we can tick the box to configure the CardDAV profile. This is where we'll copy the details we need from the mobile config file we downloaded from Contactzilla earlier. So I'm going to pull up the mobile config here, and for the display name, I enter the name of the address book I'm deploying, in this case, Project Cascade Tower. The host name of the CardDAV account is always dav.contactzilla.app. The port number is 443. For the principal URL, this follows a specific structure. It starts with https://dav.contactzilla.app/addressbooks, followed by your generated username, which I get from here, and then a hyphenated version of your address book name. in this case, project-cascade-tower. And then the CardDAV account username is the same Contactzilla generated username from here. The CardDAV account password is shown here, so we'll copy that across as well. And make sure Use SSL is enabled, and then we hit Next. This Assignments tab is just informational. We will actually assign this policy in a minute from the device group itself. So hit Next. And although the publish screen is suggesting there are no configuration changes here, that's just a UI quirk. This is the first published version, so to be fair, there is nothing for MaaS360 to compare against. The settings have been saved though, and we will hit Publish. So now to assign this policy to the group, I'm going to come to Devices and then Groups. And here is my iOS Skyline group, and I will hover over More and choose Change Policy. And when I click on the iOS policy, I can see my new policy is in the list. I'll select it and hit Submit. So now the address book will be deployed on the next device check-in. If you want to speed that up manually, you can come into Devices here from within Groups. And let's just pull up our iPhone here on the side. I'm going to request a data refresh with this button here. And after a very short time, we can see our Project Cascade Tower address book is arriving. All of our Contactzilla labels are presented as lists, so your contacts are organized perfectly. Let's go into this project managers list here, for example, and any changes I make back over in our Contactzilla dashboard. So let's first apply a filter for project managers. And I'm going to take this contact Anna Brown here and make a change to her name. Well, those changes will be deployed to the devices in your MaaS360 group. And you can see that that's updating already on the phone. So that is it. We have successfully deployed our read-only and centrally managed address book to an iPhone using MaaS360. If you want to try this yourself on our free Contactzilla trial, please click the link in the description below.